In this video we will be creating a swatch of crochet fabric using the Albanian stitch. The Albanian stitch will be worked into the front loops of each row. We're going to begin by making a foundation double crochet row. So we start by making 2 chain. We insert our hook into the first chain and we're going to draw up our thread. Here we're going to yarn around and go through that first loop to make a chain, and then we're going to yarn around and take it through 2 loops to make a double crochet. Then we're going to insert our hook into that chain that we made through both the front loop and the back loop. And then we're going to yarn around our hook and draw up a loop. Then we yarn around and take it through that first loop to create our next chain, and yarn around and go through 2 loops to create our double crochet. Insert our hook into that chain that we made, yarn round and draw ourselves a loop. Then yarn round and take it through that loop, and then yarn round and take it through 2 loops. Pick up the chain with our hook and draw up the thread, yarn round and take it through the first loop to make a chain, yarn round and through 2 loops to make the double crochet, and continue this for as many double crochets as you need. For this swatch I'm using 15 double crochet. Okay, so for the Albanian stitch we're going to be using these front loops. Those ones there are the back loops, and we used that in the last video to make the ridge stitch. Today we're going to use our front loops only for each row. We're still using a double crochet, so we're going to pick up the front loop with our hook. We're going to draw the yarn through, and we're going to yarn around and take those 2 loops off. And we're going to make those double crochet into the front loop of each stitch. So when we pick up that front loop, we're coming up through the center of the stitch of the previous row. When you get to the end of the row, make your 1 chain and turn. Okay, so for row 3, again we're using just the front loops for our double crochet. If you've had a go at making the ridge stitch, you may be inclined to think that actually using the front loops each time may give you a similar piece of fabric to the ridge stitch, but in actual fact it gives us a flatter piece of fabric. As you continue on using the front loops for the double crochet, you'll start to see a defined line across your piece of fabric for each row, and you don't get a defined ridge like you do when using back loops. So here's my small swatch of 5 rows, and can you see the defined line on each row where we've used just the front loops only? So it gives you a different look to your piece of fabric. And if we just compare it with the ridge stitch from the previous video, you'll see that the one on the left, the ridge stitch where we use the back loops, gives you that rib effect, yet the one on the right, where we've used just the front loops, it gives us a flatter piece of fabric. There's not a lot of stretch with the Albanian stitch, but the ridge stitch, you see there is some manoeuvrability. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you have liked it. Consider subscribing to our channel, and we look forward to taking you through other crochet stitches.